Hello guys, and today we will be talking about how to avoid foreclosure. And you have here Peter Cacciatore and George Munoz from Homeinc. And Peter, tell us a little bit about how can you advise someone on the other side of the screen how to avoid foreclosures?
I would say it's about being financially educated. And that's just, there's so many great videos and so many great books out there to kind of help you find that. Once you kind of understand and kind of balance yourself, understand what kind of expenses that you have, that way it better give you a better chance to get yourself in bad situations, to avoid these bad situations.
That's pretty good. I think also, like, if you're in that situation now, there's a few ways to get to that point of you being on the eviction side of it once that happens. And first thing, you can contact your bank, try to negotiate the status of your loan, maybe forbearance, maybe just try to explain them. There's some government assistance like loan modification if you're in that position. And I think I will leave lastly the option of actually selling your house, because sometimes you might have some equity on the property that you could be able to be out safe in a way that, okay, yes, you will lose the property, there's no way out, but at least you're able to transition to the next chapter of your life with ease.
Exactly.
And I think that's where we come from as a company, Homeinc. We actually specialize a lot. We do that. We've done this a couple of well, I'm not gonna exaggerate, but like hundreds of times. And typically, if you're facing for a foreclosure, you're getting there. You still have time before the execution of the foreclosure. You can always give us a call.
And then another thing is we act quickly. So sometimes these come right away, and you actually need to move very quickly. And we've closed some properties 2-3 weeks. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So if that's a good thing about us. We can close on your timeline based on your need here. So that's it.
Yeah, and I've seen cases too in which, on top of the foreclosure, your house is in an extremely bad shape. That even if you try to sell it in the market, because if you're going to sell it in the market, yeah, you could sell it, but it may take some time to actually find a good buyer. But the problem is also, let's say you have issues in your house, such as damaged roof, AC, that could damage, or that could ruin a potential relationship with a new buyer.
Yep.
So you don't have to do that. You don't have to fix any of that. We can take over that. So
that's a great point, George. It's just having the set of mind of having a qualified buyer at your need at that time. It's very different than just putting on the market and kind of hoping you find somebody there.
Yeah. When you go through foreclosure, like, first thing you're gonna get from the lender is a letter, notice letter of like
missed due payments, and then from there it's just going to continue to
accrue. You're going to get more letters, then you're going to get some notice, then they're going to get it into pre-foreclosure. You're not in foreclosure yet, and on that stage now the bank is like, basically that's a big warning, like, hey, we're going to set up a date in which we will basically take possession of the home and then sell it. So you don't want to get to that point.
You'll be start getting a lot of letters from your lender and, like you said, the government. So during this time, if you ever get yourself in this time and you don't see their way out, make sure you give us a call. That way we can better help you situate.
You know what? I want to actually tell this story. This happened to me. So I found this guy. It was already on pre-foreclosure, and so I kind of like knew when was going to be the date. I called the guy and I spoke with him, and he told me like, oh no, like, don't worry about it. Like, the bank is going to give me some money, and so I'm okay, basically. So they did some cash for keys type of situation. I hung up the phone and I'm like, well, they did some cash for keys, but I'm like, how much are they gonna give him? Because typically cash for keys is like $2,000, $3,000, maybe $5,000, and I'm like, well, but we can probably give them a little bit more. Let me see if I can call him back. And I call him and I say, look, I think I can give you more for your house. How much are they giving you? Exactly, it was like around $3,500. And they go, for real? And yeah. And he had still a little bit of equity on it. So the bank at the beginning, they didn't, because they make a little bit more if they have a little bit more control of the property. But ultimately, they ended up, by law, they have to give you, what's the name of it? They have to give you all the statements, and they have to give you the payoff letter, and with that, we kind of like have an idea of how much we need to pay to the bank. So thankfully, we were able to close in less than 3 weeks, and the guy, he was so happy. He was so happy, and I think that for me, that was one of the best. And it was basically by accident, because everything is so meant to be. Because I saw the guy. I saw like the guy has a unique name. It's unique. I'm like, there's no one like this guy. So he has to show up on Facebook or something. So I looked at Facebook and I saw that he was friends with somebody that I knew. So I'm like, oh, let me reach out to this friend. Like, hey, do you know this guy? And she goes like, oh my goodness, he sold my car. Like he was the agent that sold my car. I'm like, oh, for real? Yeah. Why don't you give me his phone number? Let me see. And that's how everything went. So yeah, it was meant to be, and it was blessed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So if you're in a situation similar to George's experience right now, please just give us a call. Feel free to talk to one of our agents. They'll guide you through the process. Even if it's not buying your house, maybe just give you some financial advice on how to beat this, so you could better help yourself in the long run.
Yeah, and I can give you two things. Not everybody knows about me, but I used to work for one of the biggest loan modification firms here in the United States, and I was a loan modification coordinator. And that was hot. That was hot back in 2008. Between 2008 and 2000, maybe like 13. That was the thing. And then after that, I worked for a law firm specialized on this. So some of these law firms, they will just hold you. First, you need to give a retainer, and then every month you have to pay them some for their services. The trick. I'm not gonna say most of the attorneys do that, but you don't have control. You're just paying until the situation is solved, and then you're still losing money that you don't have because you can't pay the mortgage. So, and I know I'm gonna sound biased, but at least the market right now, it has forced the appreciation in some areas so drastically that a lot of people have some extra equity. So, in my opinion, if you want to get over it, if you want to close that chapter in your life, again, feel free to reach out to a cash buyer. We're one of them, and make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure you trust them, and basically see how that transition goes. Because ultimately, they're just going to end up paying that mortgage off. You're going to be out. In some instances. What we do, we'll let you at least like, hey, stay for a month. You don't have to pay me rent for a month. That gives you enough time to move. You have the cash in your hands, and again, you're able to transition with ease.
So we're definitely problem solvers in the situation. And like George said, just move on your next chapter of your life. That's what we try to focus on here.